Foundations of Biblical Hebrew, Lesson 10. Hebrew letters, bet and vate. The letter bet has two different forms and pronunciations based on whether it contains a dagesh. If you remember from one of our previous lessons, a dagesh is a dot that is usually in the middle of a letter that changes its pronunciation. If there is a dot in the middle of this letter, it is the letter bet. If there is not a dot in the middle of this letter, it is the letter vate. When the letter is in the bet form with the dagesh in the middle, it's pronounced the B sound, as in the English word boy. A memory peg for remembering the sound of the letter bet is to think of the dagesh in the middle of the letter as a ball in a catcher's mitt, because the shape of the letter looks almost like a catcher's mitt. And imagine a ball that's coming into a catcher's mitt. So that'll help you to remember that when it has that dot in the middle, it's pronounced the B sound, as in the English word ball. When this letter is in the vate form, which means there's no dagesh in the middle, there's no dot in the middle, it's pronounced with a V sound, as in the word voice. A memory peg for remembering the sound of the letter vate is that, unlike bet, which has a dagesh inside of it, the interior of the letter vate is empty. It's void or vacant. There's no dagesh, there's no dot. It's void or vacant of that little addition. Both words, of course, which start with the letter V to remind you that vate is the one that is missing its dagesh. It's vacant. The letter bet in its most ancient Paleo-Hebraic forms pictures a tent or a house. In that sense, you could extrapolate it out symbolically to represent a household, a family, or even something that's contained within walls. So the base symbolism of it is that it's a tent or a house. But thinking of a house, we can expand that out to the meaning that what is inside of a house, or what does a house represent? It's protection. It's something that encloses you. Within the house is a family. So there's a lot of symbolic extrapolation that can happen with some of these letters where the imagery and symbolism of what they represent can be expanded out. Now, why this is important is because when you take the letters that make up Hebrew root words and understand their pictures actually tell you something about what the word means, which is an incredible element of the Hebrew language that is rich and deep, especially when you're studying biblical vocabulary and you come across some of these words that when you combine together the pictures of what their letters represent in their most ancient form, tell you a great deal about what the underlying meaning of the word itself is. A memory peg for remembering the symbolism of the letter bet is to think of the shape of the letter as a shelter that someone can sit inside. The letter bet can be used as a prefix that means within. It can also be used as the preposition in or with when it's placed before another word, such as in the phrase bereshit, which is the phrase we find in the very beginning of the Bible, in the beginning. The Hebrew phrase bereshit is actually pressed together to become one word. So if you translated it into English, it would be be apostrophe reshit. Be meaning in and reshit meaning the beginning. It isn't divided into two words in the Hebrew. It's actually compounded together essentially into one word, though in English, of course, we would think of that as a phrase, in the beginning. In Hebrew, it is actually just one long word. A couple other examples of this are the Hebrew phrase that means in the wilderness, which is ba midbar. Wilderness is midbar and ba is in, or ba beit. Ba meaning in and beit meaning the house. So in the house.